The theme of World Quaker Day and our section meeting in March is Becoming the Quakers the World Needs.
Hace falta justicia, hace falta equidad, hace falta tolerancia, hace falta amor. Y pienso que convertirnos en esos principios cuáqueros le va a dar una respuesta al mundo que está ansiando con muchas ganas.
I don't think we come into the campaign or come into the upcoming section meeting knowing for sure what that means. It's an open question, it's an open query. What does it mean to become the Quakers that the world needs?
To be the Quakers the world needs requires a stepping out.
El Comité Mundial de Consulta de los Amigos como principal propósito tiene el conectar a los amigos desde la región de desde Alaska hasta los Andes, tratando de cruzar barreras como la cultura, el idioma y otros tipos de diferencias que pudieran existir entre nosotros.
The Friends World Committee doesn't have a role of governance over yearly meetings.
It's a committee for consultation. We don't try to make policy, we don't try to correct anyone's doctrine. We get together and we talk and we listen to each other and to the divine presence.
Becoming the Quakers the world needs is an ambitious goal for the Friends World Committee. Our total campaign goal is $1,250,000.
The campaign itself have multiple parts, multiple activities within it. It may be one of the audacious goals that we have. We need to understand the various parts that are in it and be able to impart all of what we are doing to persons and to pique their interest so that they too can be a part of what it is that we do in.
The Becoming the Quakers the World Needs campaign has 4 parts. The first part of our campaign we're calling Tending the Nets, about building the tools that Friends will need for the coming decade. Tending the Nets includes both the interactive map of Friends around the world and the interpretation and glossary project.
With this map project, it's pretty clear to me that as we seek, then we find more things, and more things and more things. The more we look, the more we observe, we can find things that weren't obvious at first glance. And I feel that when you're talking about spiritual concerns especially, that having the ability to take a closer look really can give you a chance to grow in your faith.
Quakers have some ways of thinking about things and terms that are somewhat unique. Like if you used a dictionary definition of something, it wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be what we're actually talking about. So I think the process of developing a glossary and also being able to communicate in all the different languages that Quakers speak around the world is a great benefit. And this could be a great leap forward if we can devote more time and attention and funds to developing interpretation skills.
The second part of our campaign is the Quaker Connect project, which is designed to help local friends to try new experiments to help their local meeting to thrive.
So there are things that local communities might feel called to do by the Spirit working in them, and you don't know where to start. We could be a resource for that.
We want to be able to provide tangible ways that of guidance and tools and ways that your meeting can be more enriched and fully functioning within your community. And what that looks like is different for everybody.
All of those pieces really kind of fit together in this program that we're calling Quaker Connect and really align with this model of renewal that comes out of Convergent Friends work and FWCC work and work of Friends really since there were splits in the 1800s.
The third part of our campaign is about visitation. This will include consultations on specific topics that matter to friends and are important to the world, and also to support the travel and technology funds to enable more friends to participate in all of the events for the section of the Americas.
As we move forward and we're looking to raise funds for the future, I think for me the most important is how many face-to-face communications that we can have.
The Friends World Committee has organized travel by an individual or by two people to go to visit local friends in new places, to carry a message that God has laid on their heart, to share the ideas and experiments they've done in their home meeting with other friends.
The pandemic has gotten in our way from bringing people together physically, but it's promoted incredible ways of connecting people online.
And whether that is in person at a gathering or as an online event where friends can come together from all over the world or all over the country to be able to talk together about the things that matter to friends, that is the role of the Friends World Committee, to support that kind of consultation and inner visitation.
The fourth part of our campaign is to support the goals of the World Office, especially the World Plenary Meeting in South Africa in 2024. Both the Travel and Technology Fund that makes it possible for everyone to participate, and also the hiring of a Justice and Peace Secretary in the World Office so that we can have productive conversations before, during, and after the World Plenary Meeting.
The World Plenary Office is an amazing amount of work and planning and preparation, but it's all extremely worthwhile because you have this wonderful broad spectrum of Quakers worshiping together, learning from each other, and in the plenary sessions there are different types of worship. There's the programmed, the unprogrammed.
It's a big and sometimes overwhelming experience. I know in Kenya, having 800 or 900 people, it was pretty huge and overwhelming. But the connections that were made, the contacts that were made, were tremendously important. There are still people I've been in touch with that my life would not have brought me in touch with if I had not been in those gatherings.
Why now? The Friends World Committee at the global level has been thinking about a fundraising campaign for maybe 6 years now. What are the parts of our work that we should be doing more together, and what are the parts that are individual or unique to each of the 4 sections around the world?
This is something that may come around once a generation. Organizations don't ask lightly for this kind of help.
Being the Quakers the world needs, that is really the job of the Friends World Committee and every Quaker institution or organization.
In all of the different Quaker traditions, there is that sense that the divine, in whatever language, in whatever ways we understand it, is something that we all have access to. The way we live our lives, not just on Sunday, but all week, matters. And what we do with that experience of the divine means that we have to live a transformed life.
For the entire campaign, we are seeking to raise $1,250,000. We can only achieve this goal with your help. We are grateful for gifts of all sizes.